It's football time. It's football time. It's football time. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
And that's right, it's football time in Tennessee. And as always, I'm Dustin. I'm joined as always with Jaden and Cody. And we're going to be talking about a few different things. We missed a podcast. Yeah, we had a fun time last Saturday watching the game in person, or not in person at the game, but together as a group, and getting to see how our team, unfolded in front of our eyes there, to kind of see what they look like. There was a lot of questions, a lot of mysteries, and we got some answers finally, to see what everybody has been worrying about, and some, we got some praises, and we got some, we still have some concerns there, but overall, I think it was a good showing. First game of the season.
Yeah, in terms of, I would say for our offense, not so much our defense, but yeah.
Yeah, I think
Overall,
it
It
was
was good.
it wasn't
Meet
bad.
my expectations.
Yeah, I would say
satisfied
so
them.
too. Definitely got where I needed to be, at least feeling okay about the season. There's still a long road ahead.
indeed.
100%.
So let's talk a little bit about what we seen on Saturday, with the football game. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna have some clips, snippets that you can watch. What we're seeing here. We're not going to watch the whole video because that's someone else did this. I don't want to steal all of it, but we're going to see a little bit of the highlights from that game. Talk a little bit what we seen and go over a little bit. We would have done this on Monday, like I said, where there was a lot of stuff going on. We just couldn't get an episode filled out. Plus, it was the first game. Not awesome that we're back, but it was also Chattanooga. So
Yeah.
so we got the opening kickoff. We got the ball right off the bat, which that was great for me, being able to see what our offense was going to do, because Nico's a freshman. We didn't know what he was going to be like on his first game, but coming right out, and he's just hitting passes like accurate, straight on against Chattanooga, which we'll talk about a little bit in the future of the podcast, how everybody in SEC and college football is talking about Nico, but we see some really good offensive plays right off the get-go from Tennessee. Chattanooga, their defense wasn't fantastic anyways, but I'm really enjoying, because we've talked about this on our podcast before, how, our quarterback spot was kind of rough there last year. They were overthrowing the ball 20 miles, but seeing Nico being accurate, throwing it where he needs to throw it, that was some beautiful plays that he had. And yeah, I think that's
Football
oh
time.
gosh,
It's football time. It's football time. Wherever you
that's
listen throughout the
definitely
world.
in my ear. Sorry about that, guys, who's listening to that. I just got the intro playing, blaring in my ear again, and probably in y'all's ears. But yeah, so as you can see, that we had some phenomenal playing on the offense side, which we were ecstatic right off the bat. For watching this game, we was just crazily happy to see them just start off as great as they did.
Yeah, I was
I think
excited
Oh.
about it. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think the two biggest things that I really liked about our offense so far was that, number one, we were quick decision making for a couple of drives, and number two, a lot of the offense seems well set up. Like we've got Squirrel White, we've got Dante Thornton, we've got Brew McCoy, we've got all these receivers that are well trained in how to catch the ball. And I think obviously our receivers plus our quarterback, number one, is a deadly combination. And Dylan Sampson, I don't even know how many touchdowns he had,
3
but
touchdowns.
he and 3 touchdowns, and he ran for I don't even
124 yards, 12
124
carries,
yards.
10 yards carry.
Oh, well, he did very good for that game, and he uh he did a lot with the offense as far as rushing goes, and I think that you know our offense in general is pretty good as far as this year is concerned. But there's other things that I think we need to put into play here, like I think that our offensive game as far as throwing goes, that's a solid set, like I mentioned before. But I think that our rushing is also well developed as well with both Sampson and Selden. So I think we're pretty set as far as offense goes. We'll get into the defense later, but
Yeah,
I like
go ahead. Sorry.
I liked how Nico was able to put the ball. There was especially one play. I don't know if it shows it in this highlight reel, but he threw it over the linebackers, where a lot of people would think would be a questionable read or a questionable pass. But since Nico, I think, has the skill, he was able to put the ball right there. It was that pass exactly right there. He just did.
We'll look at that on there again because I had it switched.
See, Nico right here throws the ball perfectly over the linebackers, and they were giving him cushion. The
Yeah,
defenders were playing the pass
perfectly placed in that
right there
one little
perfectly.
pocket.
Nico, it looked like an interception, placed it right there, and I saw a guy on Twitter reacting to this clip where he said, I probably wouldn't have thrown it because I probably don't have the skill to throw it and place it how Nico just did. So I can't, he said, I couldn't say whether it was bad or not because Nico has better skill than me to place that ball. And I was like, that's crazy. So like Nico to have the ability to place the ball like what he did on that play was and passes like that deep down perfectly placed. I mean, I feel like he could be a deadly quarterback.
Yeah,
And
and
a lot of people,
I
it's
think that's
crazy.
why everybody right now is talking about Nico. Looking at this game, it's kind of hard not to. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, even though yeah, it is Chattanooga, but Chattanooga was playing for the deep passes a lot. They were given a lot of cushion for the passes, and then once we started running the ball, when they came back down to play for that run, we would just throw it down deep. So, and Nico was just, I didn't really see any inaccurate passes that I can remember from the game.
he had a few, but it was closer to right at halftime because he only played one half, mind you. For people that didn't get to watch the game, he only played one half of game, and he went 22 for 28, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that's one half of a quarter. Quarter. That's crazy. That is super crazy. He broke a school record in half of the game. That's why everybody right now is talking about this kid, is because this kid is crazy accurate. I mean, just to put in comparison, I know we're going to get in a little bit in this podcast about the upcoming game, but North Carolina State, the team that we're getting ready to face, their quarterback played all 4 quarters. He went 26 for 40, 318 yards, so only 4 more yards than Nico did, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. That's 4 quarters of play time compared to Nico's half. That's why everybody right now is talking about this kid. He is super accurate. He's impressive. He looks good. There was some, the throws that one we just watched a few minutes ago, where he kind of it just goes perfectly right over the linebackers, right in that guy's hand. It was beautiful, But I wouldn't have thrown like that in NCAA, on the PlayStation. I wouldn't have done that. I would have saw those linebackers back there. There's no way I'd have passed it right there.
Yeah, the signs there it was to not throw it, but Nico just put it in a part, like it couldn't have been any more perfect.
If he'd have went anywhere to the short, further out, left, right, it would have been an
It would've been
interception.
oh, yeah.
But it was perfectly placed. We've seen that over and over again. Like I said, he did get a little sloppy coming in, right before half. And that could have been, that could have been just, first game nerves or something. But I mean, even with that, they did some things that we thought we didn't know if we was going to see. They were fast paced, just like
Tempo,
I
yep.
wanted to see. I wanted to see that tempo, tempo offense, and that's what they did. They came out. Nico handled it beautifully, I thought. Means he knows the plays. He knows where his guys are supposed to be. He done very well. We kind of joked about it while we was watching this. Chattanooga, within, what was it, 2 or 3 minutes of the game, called a timeout.
Yeah.
They were just not
Multiple
prepared.
timeouts in the first quarter.
Because they're not used to that fast-paced, playing of Tennessee. They had to call timeouts in the first quarter. I think they actually end up having one right at halftime, but I mean, within the first quarter, they called two, which was insane. But yeah, I think Nico handled himself really great. I like the call that they did because it was Chattanooga to bring Nico out in the half, because we seen what he could do. Let's not, chance anything. We're already up pretty much. Let's just go ahead and put it back up in and let that player get some play time for the remainder of the game, which is fine by me.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though they were a little rough.
Yeah,
The
but I mean, you can't really
backups.
say it was that bad. I mean, we still blew them out of the water by
Oh yeah.
we were joking.
The third highest scoring in our history.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Even
to
though
think.
it is Chattanooga.
Yeah, true. If we go back and look at our guesses, Cody had guessed 45-7, and he was on the lower totem pole of where we was trying to guess on where everybody was going to be lining up and everything. So when we got close to that 45 mark, and he was getting antsy there, and then we blew by it, and then we ended up getting to close to Jaden's, which was 56-0, which he wasn't far off either. He thought he was going to have it, and then it got to mine, which was 63-7, and they still went above it to 69-3. I gave Chattanooga, and Cody gave Chattanooga a benefit of the doubt having 7. But they went above beyond our expectations of their points, and I was on the high end of that.
Yeah, you guessed more accurately on how much they scored, but I guessed more accurately on how much Chattanooga would score, I guess.
Which is
they only got 3.
Which is kind of crazy because, last week's podcast we talked about one of our big concerns was the defense, our defense. And for our defense to hold them, that's why I gave Chattanooga 7. But Jaden had a little bit more faith, I think, in our defense. So
well,
I would say it's a happy
it's
medium there. 3 point. We let them 3 points with our backups.
It would have been a shutout only if our defense played a little bit better.
Yeah. Which we'll get it. Like I said, we'll get into that. But I mean, back on to Nico, the kid is a star already. I mean, right off the bat, there's everybody in NCAA right now. They're all talking about this kid, that he's already looking at like a Heisman potential. Which blows my mind.
I'm pretty sure Nick Saban even commented on Nico.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Which it interests me too, because I was watching the press conference after the game, and Coach did say that he was hesitant, to give praises a little bit. I mean, the reporters were even like, "Well, didn't you think Nico did really good?" And he's like, "Yeah, Nico did some good, and he did some things that were not so great, and he knows that." And he knows that's why he's in a good position that he is. He knows what he needs to work on, which that right there means that they have a really good relationship.
Yeah.
is that he's going to his coach and saying, "Hey, I know I messed up. This is where I need to be improved on." They're already working that stuff out, readying themselves up for this next game, for the game after that. That's means they're having a really good relationship right there, and that's what I wanted to see, anyways. Because I mean, he's going to be, you know, knock on wood, but he's going to be our quarterback for the next couple of years, few years. We need him healthy. We need him in a good place here in Tennessee. From the coaching staff, from the fan base, we want to make sure he, as good as he's shown himself. Now we got a long way ahead of still. We don't know what he's going to look like when we get to these bigger teams, but I have to say, breaking school records. His first starting game as a freshman. I know he started against Iowa. I know you're going to say that, but this is a new season. This is his team now. Breaking records is huge.
In the first game.
Yeah. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me. So, I mean, to move forward though, we do have a matchup, coming up Saturday.
Yeah, those are bygones.
Yeah.
At this point,
UTC's gone. I mean, football players that are worth anything they know, that's gone. The next game's ahead. That's the next mountain to climb up. I've heard a lot of back and forth with this game.
Yeah.
But I also watched the NC State Western Carolina game, and I was not impressed at all. NC State has been in the past a pretty decent school for football, but they struggled right out the gate. The first half they struggled against Western Carolina. And like I said, with their quarterback, he threw as many yards as Nico did in one half. ESPN's not saying it's going to be that, far of a matchup, but I'm thinking it could possibly be another Chattanooga versus Tennessee game.
I could see that, but I'm thinking more of. See, I don't know. When it comes to NC State game, like I've said this before, I still think we win. Obviously, like I just the way that we've played the first game compared to NC State. Whether NC State had some weird coaching problems or maybe the team was like off kilt because it's the first, which I don't know. It's because there's returning players. You would think they wouldn't be nervous or whatever. I don't know. But first, NC State's first game against Western Carolina was it's an interesting one for me. It's either did NC State make a lot more mistakes or was Western Carolina better than what people thought they were? That's college football for you. Like everyone, you never know. Like everyone, don't get me wrong. Florida State lost to the opener to Georgia Tech, and then they lost to dang, I already forgot who they just played this past week.
Florida State.
Yeah. This literally last Saturday.
Wasn't it Syracuse?
No.
Who was it? FSU. Boston College.
Boston College.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Them losing to those are teams that they're supposed to beat.
No, Boston College is pretty good. They can keep up. I mean, it would have been a lot more difficult.
Boston College is the team that beats people they're not supposed to beat. That's the only thing. Boston College loses to everyone else.
They're an Appy State.
Yeah, they're exactly an Appalachian State team. They're like Appalachian State. I don't think Boston College is an entirely great or entirely bad team. It's just they're a team that can create upsets. That's it. Like that's all they're known for. But what I'm saying is Florida State should have beat both of them because Boston College, I know, and maybe they just out-coached Florida State better or whatever. It doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to go with this is that, is Florida State just bad, or are these teams better than what people think they are? And that's the thing with college football. It's not the NFL where a team is just bad because they're just bad.
Yeah, and
college football is different.
Changed a lot with the transfer portal also.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
And
So
that could have hit Florida State or FSU. That could have hit them with the transfer portal. I mean, people leaving and stuff,
like
mad
you
over
never
what
know.
happened last year. You know,
Yeah, like you never know if it's just coaching and player problems, or they're not really good, or the teams are better than what they thought they were, you know, or what everyone thinks they are. Like you don't know. So when it comes to an NC State game, they should. I mean, they won. I almost said they should have won, but NC State did beat Western Carolina, but they should have beat them a lot more than what they did, and they should have. Western Carolina shouldn't have scored as much as they did against NC State. So for me, I obviously still think we win and we don't struggle. It will definitely be a different challenge. It won't probably be as easy, obviously, as the Chattanooga game, but I think Tennessee is just the better team on both sides of the ball when it comes to playing against NC State. I'm not really worried about it. Not to say that I'm completely like, oh, hands are clean, totally gone with the win. I ain't worried about NC State, but like I'm not worried about it to a T. That I'm gonna be like, oh man, we could lose this game because it depends. I don't know. I mean, how much mistakes are we going to make? Is our defense going to pull through? I mean, I know NC State will score maybe a couple touchdowns because there's no way we just hold them to, and we could. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we hold them to nothing but field goals or no points. That'd be awesome. But like NC State's a football team that they're going to score on you.
they
They're just
can.
they can.
Absolutely can. Yeah,
They're going to score on you.
and
So
that
I'm thinking a touchdown or two for them.
that
at
means
least.
our defense is going to have to step up. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
that is. I think our offense is going to be just fine. I don't think their defense is going to have.
Offense is fine. Yeah.
They're not going to have a struggle against their defense, but on our side, our defense is going to step up. You're completely right. NC State has, it's a team that they can win. Are they going to be able to connect the dots from what they messed up last week? I don't know. 38-21 from a Western Carolina, that's not a good look, and that's demoralizing, to see those numbers right off first game out of the bat. That's the game where you're supposed to be blowing out the smaller schools.
Yeah.
And you see 38-21, as a player, you're thinking, dang, this is going to be a rough year. That might be in the back of your head going in, and knowing that you're getting ready to play a big team like Tennessee, that's going to be in the back of your head.
Here's the crazy thing. Looking back at last year's NC State performance, they struggled against UConn. They struggled against UConn the first game, 24-14. They got beat by Notre Dame. They come out and beat VMI, of course. They beat Virginia by 3. They lose to Louisville by 3. They beat Marshall by 7. They lost to Duke, which was whatever. And then they beat Clemson. They beat Miami last year. They beat Miami. They beat Wake Forest. They beat Virginia Tech. They beat North Carolina, their rival. They lost to Kansas State, and that was their Pop-Tarts Bowl. But like looking back on their season, it's like they have like this record of struggling. Apparently, this first game. Let's go back.
I wonder
to the
what
season
their
before
off
that.
season looks like then. If they're coming up with a struggle right off the start, I wonder if
Same thing with East Carolina.
Oh, really?
The season before that, yeah, they struggled the first game again.
Yeah.
Now,
I wonder what their off
slammed
season looks like then.
Yeah, they slammed UConn. That they beat Florida State 2 years ago.
So
They were ranked 11 that year.
Yeah, they're not a team to stick your nose up to, but I mean just of what I saw play wise. I watched that game. They struggled. They looked sloppy. They looked uncoordinated in that first half of the ball game. Now they did come back in the second half, but they were down going in the half. I mean, that was crazy to see that. And there was some other teams like that, but we're not playing them. We're playing NC State, getting ready to come up, and looking at that and with what they have done, I mean, they're schools that they usually face. They're decent schools. They're not SEC quality schools. So
No.
I'm going to say they will probably put our defense on their heels if our defense don't show up. Their defense, I don't think, will be able to handle our fast-paced movements, our fast-paced offense. I think Nico, being as accurate as he was, if he is as accurate as he was that first half, have no problems putting some big numbers up on him.
For sure.
But
Yeah, I
Go
don't
ahead.
know if it'll be too much of a contest, honestly. I mean, looking at a lot of these games that NC
will
State
s-
has played, I mean, obviously they do struggle in some games, but some games they just pull through, undoubtedly. I mean, like Jaden mentioned last year, they beat Clemson of all teams. I mean, of course, Clemson last year was having some problems and stuff like that, but I mean, even then, you take you take a team that can beat, you know, Clemson, which was ranked higher than them. You take a team that like Western Carolina that's in SoCon of all conferences. They're in SoCon and they struggle against them. I think they're really just a coin toss that you can predict most of the time. Like you
yeah,
can always pick tails whenever you go for a team like this.
I mean, when they play these teams like Virginia Tech and UNC, they don't beat them by a lot. It's just usually a touchdown or two. So I mean, it's kind of like what you see here with the Western Carolina score. It's 38-21. It's what you usually see when they beat UNC or Virginia Tech. Um, not at the quality of what we just did to Chattanooga.
No. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
so I think we'll win. I don't think it'll be an issue with us. ESPN only giving us beating them by 10 is a little bit of slap in the face to Tennessee. I think that's a laughing matter. They gave us like an 86% chance of winning the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
I don't know. I don't know if the point spread will be that thin, but I can definitely tell you that it's not going to be a walk in the park of anything. But
I don't think it will be either. But to say only,
It's our first real, and I'm going to call it a real challenge, the first real obstacle that Tennessee has to face besides Chattanooga this year.
I mean, we still got to think this is technically Nico's second game. This is his first season. It's his
his
second
second
game.
start game.
Yeah, his second starting game. So I mean,
well,
you
technically it's
can
his
give the boy
third,
credit.
but first season,
Yeah, but as for his first season, you can give the boy credit where credit's due. I mean, he played an amazing game against Chattanooga, and you know you can't say, yeah, it was just Chattanooga. He did play a really good game against Chattanooga and demonstrated a lot of skill. However, this is still his starting season. There's plenty of mistakes to be made. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but there are still mistakes that can and will be made eventually.
I
And I
mean,
don't know if this is a game where those will shine or if this is a game where he'll, perform as well as he did last game, but there are still, problems that can occur, especially against a team like this.
yeah, and it's still a ranked team. I mean, it's our first ranked team of the season that we're playing. I mean, by no means this is going to be like I think that's going to be a walk in. If I had to measure it, I would say like driving terms. Chattanooga was at most a minor pothole. Then we got NC State. I'm going to say that's, you're going uphill a little bit, but nothing to the point where you're struggling. The next game after that, that's going to be our first hurdle, that our first mountain that we're going to have to climb. But I would say Western Carolina to me is a little bit more of like a speed bump or, a small hill that we're going to have to climb over. But I don't if Tennessee plays like they did against Chattanooga, I don't feel like they're going to be that big of an issue for us.
No.
Even with we'll talk about a little bit our defense, but even with our defense, I think we'll still be fine. But I think there's just, and this happens every single year. We do something great. I mean, everybody's talking about Nico. Everybody's talking about how our offense looked great. And ESPN's only letting us, saying that we're going to beat NC State by 10. They only moved us up one spot in the ranking. That's, I mean, how many years do we have to go through this?
We'll go through it every time.
Why is there so much hate against Tennessee? We have not been a contender since, really
years.
for many years. I mean, we could have done something great when Hooker was there, but I mean, he got hurt. But even then, I mean, why every single year we got to go through this? you know, I'm glad that we're ranked. I'm glad, it doesn't really mean much right now. It's the beginning of the season and all, but only up by one spot. And, we blow out Chattanooga like it's not. Our starting quarterback only played one half of the game. It means our backup quarterback put some points on them. Also, come on, guys. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. It's
Yeah.
annoying. But they're going to continue to do it. There's nothing we can do about it.
No, but I mean, it's a little bit of a slap in the face every time I flip on ESPN or look at the AP polling and stuff, and just see the amount of disrespect that they put Tennessee through every single year. It's mind boggling, how they do this to it. I mean, I get it, Uh, we've been not that great of a team for many years, but I mean, we got a pretty dang good looking offense. Got an amazing, good looking young freshman that is going to be our franchise freshman for the next, he's going to be with or a franchise quarterback for the next few years. And you can't give us anything, either talk about us and give us some, pointers here saying that we're going to beat NC State by 20 or something, but then don't sit there and say that we're only going to beat them by 10, but you've been talking about Nico, how amazing he looks for the past, week.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Uh,
I think it's for clout and publicity.
Yeah,
They
and
do
a
it
lot
on
of it,
purpose.
I would say, is driven by, us not really making it into a ranked spot, like a good ranked spot for a while, and they just kind of hold that grudge against us that, oh, ooh, they got a new quarterback. That's good. They're still probably going to end up out of the playoffs this year or something like that, and I don't know. It's hard for us to really, I would say, even if we did make it to the playoffs this year, they probably still stick us in like, 10th spot or
Yeah,
maybe
something
not
low. Yeah.
something low like that.
We could probably go FSU undefeated and it would still put us out like 9th or 10th, have Alabama
Yeah.
at number 4, and they've lost 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing they do this every single year, but I get it. I mean, our defense didn't look that great against Chattanooga.
True.
Yeah, our defense is still not great, like always.
Even our D line didn't look as hot as they should have looked. There was not a lot of getting it in the pocket. There was not a lot of hardly any sacks. Do we have a sack? I think maybe 2, 3 sacks.
I believe we had 2, if I remember correctly.
I mean, the defense did not look good. Still playing zone defense aggravates me to no end that we are still playing zone defense in the day that we are. I mean, this should be man-to-man coverage. I mean, these guys are. I mean, we knew what they were passing the ball. Why are we not manning up on these guys and trying to take the ball away from them? I don't know if it's
suppose our defensive backs aren't fast enough to play man, I guess.
But I mean, can we not find anybody? I mean, seriously, can we not find anybody to be a star in that that backfield anywhere? I mean, come on. This is, maybe it's the defensive coordinator. I don't know. But we got to get away from this zone defense mentality. Teach our guys to run faster or better coverage or something, because I'm sick and tired of seeing us get destroyed in the passing defensive game because our guys are just not where they're supposed to be, or they're not covering the guy. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling at best.
Yeah, I no, I'm with you. I agree. Zone is not great, but you got to have people that can play man, and I guess we can't for some reason.
I hope they figure that out for this game, because we're going to need that defense to start stepping up. We got Alabama, we got Florida, which I don't know if I'm even worried about anymore.
Does have Florida's starting quarterback does have a concussion.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah. Well, that's great. Poor guy has one game and has concussion. Ugh. They have so much bad luck down there. I don't know what's going on with Florida anymore. I'm surprised. I've not heard Bill Napier getting fired yet, but I'm surprised he still has a job if he does.
I'm going to. Y'all keep talking. I'm going to confirm, but
All
I'm
right,
pretty
yeah.
sure. I'm pretty sure Mertz has a concussion.
Oh, does he?
I read it somewhere.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, I mean, it's hard to how long he'll be out, but I mean, still, we got some bigger teams. Our defense needs to step up. They need to figure out what's going on here because they cannot be looking as sloppy as they did against Chattanooga to be facing these bigger teams. Oklahoma's right around the corner. Right around the corner. That is going to be a true test of our team.
Okay, so he is on concussion protocol, and who is John Emery Jr. is out for the season.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I did see Napier get talked to by, I'm guessing, the athletic director going into the tunnel after that game. So that's not a good idea.
They were playing. Florida was playing Miami with a guy who's been playing college football for 9 years. By
9 years.
the way, yeah. Oh, and Tyler Barron, our old defensive end, plays for Miami now.
Wait, how do you play college football for 9 years?
Oh, I don't know, dude. 9 years,
how
man.
how many COVID years do you get? And how many red shirts do you get? Holy crap.
He was a 9-year senior or something crazy or something weird.
I
was like, what?
That makes no sense.
He's got to be like 28 by now.
The dude's got a family of 12,
He's a grandparent and he's playing college football.
He's a grandparent right now. I'll get him, boys. Hope my hip don't pop out. What in that 9 years? What is going on? But yeah, defense needs to step up. I mean, we are playing them, and it's a neutral site, but let's be real here. It's home field advantage for North Carolina.
Yeah, because they don't really leave the state.
Yeah, but Tennessee does travel very well. We've always been known to go with the team. And I want to say, being in a bigger stadium, you're going to see a lot of orange. You will see a lot of orange there.
Yeah.
Probably half and half.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be more Tennessee than North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina's a smaller school. Do they travel as well? I don't know. But, yeah.
North Carolina really ain't that far from here.
No, it really ain't. So I mean,
just over the mountains.
it's not a long drive for Tennessee fans, and especially the fans that don't live in Knoxville that live closer to North Carolina. That's not a far drive for us either. I mean, it's a hop, skip, and jump, and you're there. I mean, it is a neutral site technically, but it still is technically home field advantage for North Carolina. But Tennessee travels well. I think there's going to be a lot of orange in that stadium. I don't think anybody's going to get rattled by no means by the other fan base. Maybe Tennessee's fan base will rattle them a little bit just on the amount of craziness that we do bring.
No, but yeah, the neutral side thing, it'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to go like just off scores, what we think the scores are going to be like we did last time?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll let y'all go first because I gotta really think about this one.
I'm thinking 35-14. That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
I'm just gonna give NC State the benefit of the doubt.
ESPN is giving them 21 and us 38, right? I want to say there may be a little bit backing to that, but I don't know if I'll give him the full-fledged doubt. I think Nico will perform. I think he'll do good. 35-14 is not a bad guess. I would say that's a good baseline. I don't know if I think our offense will do well. I don't think our defense will. So I'm going to say it'll be closer to like I think maybe 4 touchdowns is a little bit. 5 touchdowns is pretty good. A field goal with that 38, I don't know. That's doable. I'd say that's doable. 38 is a good call. 21, I want to say 25.
So you say 38-25?
Yes.
So 38-25. Man. I'm saying Nico's not done proving. Nico's going to come out. He's going to try to impress all over again. He's going to try to break another record of some sort. I'm saying Vols will get at least 45. At least 45. And our defense, being what I've seen from I can't go anything but what I see in Chattanooga. I think NC State will probably put I'm going to say 21. 45-21 is my prediction.
Okay.
Mm.
Mine was between 32 or 42 and 35, and I was going with 35.
Yeah, I understand. I
So
mean,
a low, a medium, and a high.
we always have we've had a low, medium, high every time so far. So I figure I need it. I wanted to say Tennessee by got the 50, but I didn't. I don't know. I think Nico's still coming out impressed. I'm probably undershooting him. I could be undershooting him, but
I could be undershooting them. Tennessee could score definitely more than 35.
it will get very interesting on our predictions when we get close, like Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, those
absolutely
Kentucky. Those predictions will be a lot more wild, but I'm and harder to figure out. But we'll have more games to look at and kind of judge where our team's at by then. But still, I mean, just based off the first game and what NC State, I did watch that game, but just based off those games, I feel comfortable 45-21. I don't think they're putting 38 on us. I just don't.
No.
Nothing close to that.
They can get a touchdown or two, or touchdown, field goal, touchdown.
Yeah.
Field goal.
I might be giving them more credit than, but again, I don't know if I'm giving them credit or trying to tell our team that our defense needs to pick the crap and get going with the defense side of it. I don't know. But either way, that's my prediction. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
I agree.
It's 7:45, I think, is when the game's going to start. 7:30.
Yeah.
So it's a night game. Love night games. Night games are always, I think, way better than midday games.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to be sitting, down, eating me a Little Caesars pizza and watching the football game, rooting them on. And I can't wait to see what happens,
Yeah, I'm excited.
Very.
It's as always, it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. I mean, the season's back, and we're excited to see what our football team win, lose, or cry about it. I don't, know, it's still always great to be a Tennessee Vol. So, y'all have anything else to add to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Chattanooga, get a better kicker. For the love of God, get a better kicker.
I forgot about that. They couldn't hit the broadside of the barn to save their life.
I think they missed like 3 field goals that they could have got. Please get a kicker.
Honestly, I'm surprised they got 3 points because they were missing everything. I mean, they changed the kicker 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, the first one they kicked was from 45 yards, and they drilled that one, and then every other kick after that one, they just didn't even come close.
Well, that one, the second field goal, the first one the kicker missed. Their coach did ice him for some reason. I thought we iced him. No, it was their coach. Their coach iced their own kicker.
Yeah, I don't.
At 45 yards, why would you or not? It wasn't even. It was like 30 yards was the second kick or something like that.
Yeah, they took him off the field. And then they were like, put him back on the field.
I thought they were calling a timeout, maybe just to, hey, we'll go for it. We're close. We'll go for it. See if we can make it. No, all they did was ice the kicker, their own kicker, and he shanked the crap out of the ball.
Yeah.
Then they put this other kid in, and he shanked it even worse. Like, what is going on here? Like, oh,
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was definitely a questionable call. I have no idea what they were doing.
yeah. I will say that their coach was asked after the game that they asked him, "Will you see another Nico, throughout your season?" Their coach said, "I hope the hell we don't." So I mean, thank you.
Thank you for that, Coach.
But no, besides that, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything, Cody? Nothing?
I'm
Well,
good. I'm set.
As always, we're excited to see what happens on Saturday. It's great to be at Tennessee Vol, and we'll catch you. Before we get any further, are we going to do a review of the game like Monday?
Yeah. Like I said, I was gone.
So, the AP polls should drop on Sunday. I looked it up. The only reason they dropped late this week is because we had some games playing on Monday night, so polls didn't drop until I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday, I think. But they will drop. They should drop on Sunday, so we should know where we're ranked by the end. So we'll film Sunday night, have a podcast out for you, I guess, on Monday. But as always, I'm Dustin.
Jaden.
And I'm Cordy.
And we'll catch you next time.